Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Breaking news: Bola Tinubu to travel from Abuja to Rome, Italy, this Saturday, following an invitation from Pope Leo XIV. This is what Bayo Onanuga and other charlatans are celebrating right now. If care is not taken, they will list this as one of Tinubu's achievements on May 29. Bayo Onanuga wrote this long epistle here talking about it, but you and I know two things. Number one, this is not an invitation to Tinubu. It has nothing to do with him. It is the nation, Nigeria, they are concerned about. And two, it is possible that there was no invitation at all. If Tinubu could hire thugs to act as Catholic priests before he got into office, forging an invite to the Vatican is definitely something that is not far-fetched from them. But of course, leaving the country is Tinubu's second best hobby, so he will be happy to quickly rush there. And his number one hobby is actually inflicting pain on the people. He worsened hunger, worsened unemployment, worsened insecurity, and after 23 months in office, his focus has shifted to a second term. What a disaster. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that bizarre updates from the National Assembly began making the rounds. One of the most useless bills ever sparked a heated debate amongst lawmakers. You will not believe that lawmakers want to start forcing Nigerians to vote. They want to treat Nigerians who don't vote like criminals. They want to begin to jail Nigerians who don't vote on election day. The debate became so heated to the point that one of the lawmakers said, after all, votes don't count in Nigeria. And instead of signing into law the electronic transmission of results from the polling unit to the IREV in real time to sanitize the process, lawmakers are looking for a way of compelling all adult Nigerians to be part of their disgraceful electoral process in order to have a wider range of numbers so as to easily manipulate figures. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. Now, if you are from Benue State or Plateau State, this is what we have been asking your governors to do to protect the state from armed headsmen and Fulani kidnappers not coming to the media to grant interviews. See this.
Since on Monday till Friday, I didn't eat anything, I didn't drink anything. I was tired. And they caught me with a lot of cutlass at the back and at the front. The demand for 50 million naira, that they should bring 50 million naira. So later on, I'm taking people that were just, before they came to come and escape me.
That was Emmanuel Adeladun, one of the 5 rescue kidnapped victims abducted recently along the Ikare Highway in Ondo State, narrating his ordeal. Before he was rescued by operatives of Amatekun Corps, he was inflicted with various cutlass injuries by his abductors. However, the remaining kidnapped victims were rescued along the Ore-Ijebu Lagos Highway.
Within the past 1 month, we have been able to intervene in both kidnapping and robbery instances that were foiled on not less than 12 cases. Ditto for Osun and Ondo on the Owena Akure Road.
Commander of Amatekun Corps, Adetunji Adeleye, while addressing journalists, said the suspected kidnappers had demanded between 50 million naira and 100 million naira before their victims could be released.
What are we asking for? Credible information from the public. We want to assure you that all these information will be treated in very strict confidence to such an extent that these lucky 5 people could translate into ensuring that the perpetrators of this evil act will understand the body language of the government of Ondo State.
You saw that. Amotekun is an initiative that began in Southwest amongst the people. When the killings became so bad under Buhari, the people rallied around and they began this Amotekun. Now, even though many of their governors are APC members and the APC have a pact with the Fulani killers and kidnappers, Amotekun is still thriving. the state government had no choice than to begin to support and empower them when they saw the resolve of the people. So Benue and Plateau, you need this more than even the Southwest. Instead of allowing yourselves to be wasted like flies, get up and begin to form bodies like these to defend your land. The next video here is from Osita Chidoka. While many Nigerians have asked the JAMB registrar Isha Koloede to resign for the glitch that caused mass failure in this year's JAMB, Osita Chidoka, including few obedience, have shown some commendations for how the JAMB registrar handled this glitch matter honestly. Let's take this video from Osita Chidoka.
I mean, first of all, I want to say that I am impressed. I am encouraged by the attitude of the JAMB Registrar General. JAMB has always been an institution. I like how they manage their setbacks and how they come back with clear evidence. I mean, something went wrong. He invited experts. I was invited. They presented the data to us. We reviewed what the contractor did. We saw the challenges. We did a serious test of all the states in Nigeria were randomly tested to see whether this problem was outside of these 6 focal states. And it turned out it was only in those 6 states. But what was interesting is that JAMB could have doubled down, because if you look at the past 10 years of JAMB result, this result was actually consistent with the past 10 years.
Yeah, the registrar
about
said that
75,
much in the
76%
yes.
always score below 200%. But what happened this time around is that some of the high-performing states kind of turned in odd results. So that kind of triggered something must have happened here. And a particular school sent me their report. 45 students from their school took the exam. 33 took it on the days that were problems, because deep swallowing was not every day. By Monday of the exam, 27th, I think they had already fixed the problem. The contractor had fixed the upload syncing problem. So those ones got their better results. So when we went through it, we used various models to regress it, and we were convinced that this was an error. While everybody is lamenting about the error and saying, you know, JAMB shouldn't have, I said, we shouldn't give the false impression that technology means that nothing can go wrong.
You heard that. Now, we already know that the JAMB registrar, Professor Isha Koloede, broke down in tears while accepting responsibility for the glitch that led to the mass failure in this year's JAMB. And many Nigerians have said after crying, he should do the right thing and resign. But I have seen some comments from few obedience that got me thinking. They said, if the man who apologized for the glitch is told to resign, how about INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu, who did not even apologize for the glitch in his own office, where a much more worse issue was at stake? And to be completely honest with you, that contribution by few obedience caught me off guard. But what I have to say is this: what happened in JAMB was most probably a real glitch, and that was why the professor came out to apologize. But with INEC, there was no glitch at all. It was actually the INEC chairman that switched off the server and lied that there was a glitch. He did it to favor his fellow political criminals. But in a sane society, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. Both men should have resigned. But this is Nigeria. It was interesting, though, to see obedience disagree to agree respectfully over such a national issue. Now, the students who were let down by JAMB are going to retake the exams. Rest in peace to the young girl who took her own life out of frustration. And it is more reason why we need to fix the society. In a society with a lot of hope, failing JAMB can't be viewed as the end of life by anyone. Finally, I have a wild guess to drop here. Just know that you heard it here first. I think that the registrar of JAMB, Professor Isha Koloede, will voluntarily tender his resignation when the dust settles. Now, let us look at the top story. A heated debate began at the National Assembly in the last session. Lawmakers now want to begin treating Nigerians who don't vote on election days like criminals by signing into law a bill that compels everyone of adult age to vote. Now, first it was to allow people to vote with or without PVCs. Now it is to compel everybody to vote. And of course, you know that bigger numbers give them a wider range to manipulate figures. The gimmicks that are being put forward to rig the 2027 elections are unfolding right before our eyes. And an angry lawmaker stood up and said, why do you want to compel people to vote when votes don't even count in Nigeria? And another question is, in all this, where is the opposition? Look at how the papers reported it. Breaking: bill to make voting mandatory scales second reading at Reps. A bill proposing mandatory voting in elections for qualified Nigerians has scaled second reading at the House of Representatives. The bill, which is sponsored by Tajuddin Abbas, Speaker of the House, passed the second reading stage after an extensive debate on Thursday. Leading the debate, Daniel Ago, the co-sponsor, said the proposed legislation seeks to amend the Electoral Act 2022 to tackle the problem of low voter turnout. He said compulsory voting law would increase civic engagement and voter participation, making electoral involvement a legal obligation rather than a personal choice. Ago said the bill, if passed into law, would strengthen democracy by improving representation, foster a more politically aware country, and reduce vote buying. Benjamin Kalu, the deputy speaker, supported the bill, adding that citizens are expected to perform certain civic responsibility. Awaji Inombek Ebiante, a People's Democratic Party member from Rivers State, said there are no incentives for citizens to support a compulsory voting law. Mark Esset, a lawmaker from Akwa Ibom State, who also rejected the bill, said the House should not enact a compulsory voting law when citizens have lost confidence in the voting process. It is a good bill, but we are trying to build something on nothing. While we want to make voting compulsory, there should also be a law to make voting count, he said. While lawmakers were opposing the bill, Benjamin Kalu consistently interrupted them, citing Order 9, demanding that they confine their arguments to the rules of the debate. Abbas had to correct him, clarifying that the debates were in line with the bill's general principles. Now, Ben Kalu is really degenerating as a human being. Anytime they bring any stupid idea to the floor of the National Assembly, he is the first to jump and begin defending it, to the point that even Abbas, that brought the bill, had to call him to order because he was turning the whole thing into an altercation. The people were simply saying the truth. You cannot compel Nigerians to vote and call it a democracy. Why not allow their votes to count? The people were not rejecting elections before. It was when they realized that the votes were not counting that they began to reject elections, because what is the essence? Since you already have somebody in mind that you want to impose, why do you want the people to waste their time coming out to vote? If they come out to protest, you are going to kill them. That's why they say, okay, take your position now. We are not voting again. And because you have seen that it is no longer looking good, you are now trying to compel them to come out and begin to vote. And that lawmaker, Mark Esset, was saying, no, you should make voting attractive by allowing votes to count. But Benjamin Kalu was constantly opposing him. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet by Oyekanmi Adeni says, you are making move to mandate voting, yet on election day, you will be intimidating voters, causing vote suppression. Switch off IREV. No be juju be that. I am telling you, you are the one destroying the country. And for you to come up with this bill that you want to compel Nigerians to vote, you are rigging and nobody is attacking you, but you want to make your rigging better. You want to make it look good before the world. What a shame. And this tweet here says, the plan is clear. Make it non-mandatory to use PVC to vote. Also make voting mandatory. Then give you whatever statistics they push out as the voting population. Then rig the hell out of the election with such a margin that you won't even have the mind to go to court. That's what they are planning. And Chidi here says, you must vote them or go to jail. Oh, Akonji Adeyemi here says, Tell them their papa dey mental. Is that supposed to be their priority? Do the votes of those voting count? They should review the Electoral Act to make electronic voting and electronic transmission of results compulsory. Anything other than that is exercise in futility. None of them will return. That is it. And this tweet here by Doorbreaker says, rubbish. What happens to a bill to make electronic transmission of results compulsory? You guys keep chasing shadows. And Coco here says, the bill you should pass is mandatory upload of results and jail term for intimidators. Then everyone would vote. Simple logic. But morons are in charge. Honestly, with talks of electoral reforms, ongoing at the National Assembly, I thought that the leaders of the opposition would have been serious about pushing the bill for the transmission of results from the polling units to the IREV. Because we know that without this transmission of results, if we depend on INEC again, they will manipulate everything. There is no need even talking about a coalition or anything 2027 if we are not pushing for the bill to mandate the transmission of results. We know that the National Assembly is compromised. We know that. But at least push for it. If they are trying to throw it out, you organize a protest, sponsor a protest. Protests are legal rights. There is nothing wrong in it. So these are the kind of moves I expect from the leaders of the opposition. There is a level of aggressiveness that is required in all this because you are not going to get it on a platter of gold. There is nobody that will hear that people are protesting because they are asking for, transparent electoral process that will not be proud of such a protest. Anyway, I don't know what leaders of the opposition are up to, but I don't talk my own. Make I leave am here. Make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go